Howdy folks, Moose here. Want to do a little video to answer a bunch of emails about why I have a couple 24-70s in the kit. The primary lens I'm using is the 24-70 2.8. I got really hooked on that lens, that focal length, that f-stop, when I was originally introduced with the D3. Then when the Z's came out, they came out originally with the 24-70 f4 model. And then a little bit later, the 2.8. And most email questions have to do with, why do I have both of these in our kit? Which is really a very great and valid question. Answer is kind of simple. In short, this is our video, this is our stills. Now a little bit more into it. So they both go down to f/22. You've got 28 ounces on this lens, 17 ounces on this lens. You can see there's a big physical length difference. Now between the weight and the physical length, the f4 model, and by the way, this is a gorgeous lens. I have a good friend that shoots this to this day and makes beautiful 24 by 30s. So they're both, really excellent lenses optically. But when it comes to video, this small size and weight, we use it primarily on a Z6 II or Z7 II on a gimbal, and it bounces out perfectly on that gimbal. And because it's so physically small, Brent can get into cockpits and places with this that with the 24-70 2.8 we can't get into. So it's less expensive, physically smaller, less weight, great for video. Now the 24-70 2.8, why is it my primary still shooting lens? Well, let me show you a couple examples to explain it. Aviation is one of the places where I use this lens a lot. So you can see with this 24-70 my basic technique. Now, these photographs were taken with the 24-70 f4 model. And what I do is I'll get as close as I need to get to that plane to get the image size I want at 70 millimeters, and that's where I'll put the lens. Then I'll shoot that at 70, and then I'll zoom back to 50, then I'll zoom back to 24. Now I do the exact same thing with the 24-70 2.8. Here's some shots of Aero C140. I just did this a couple days ago. Same basic thing. I got the image size I want at 70 millimeter. Then I shot at 50, then at 24. The difference is the C47 is f4, the Aero is at 2.8. Why do I use that shallow depth of field? I kind of like that narrow depth of focus. I like that feel it brings to the camera body. I just like that. It's just a personal thing. Now, the 24-70 2.8 is also a primary lens for doing a lot of portrait work, especially of pilots. So here's a series of shots taken by my good friend Ryan. Now, at 24 millimeters, and I still don't know to this day why I goofed up, but I know I goofed up. I shot this first picture at f8, and you can see that the 450 Stearman is a bit in focus. I didn't want that. Somehow I realized it, so when I shot at 50 millimeter, I went back to 2.8, and then when I shot at 70 millimeter, I'm at 2.8, and you can see how, you can still see the Stearman, but it's not tack sharp. So for myself and our shooting here at WRP in the business, the two lenses, the 24-70 2.8, 24-70 f4, are very important to our kit. And that's what it's all about, is solving problems in the field with the gear that tells your story. So I hope that helps. Remember to make every click your story.